Hello and welcome to Kedrick Farms. We're back with another episode of the Minnesota Millennial Farmer map, and today we're going to be doing all kinds of jobs. Last episode we live streamed and completed a whole bunch of our planting. In fact, we completed all of our corn planting last episode. However, since our planter doesn't currently have any fertilizing capabilities, we need to get the sprayer out and run it over some of our corn ground. We did end up getting a demo unit from John Deere for our planting. We got a DB90 and a 8RX that helped us knock out a lot of acres, and they're going to let us keep that unit for some soybean planting here as well. We're just trying to make sure we get these wheels lined up here. Ideally, I'd probably drop the duals off for this, but I think this is going to fit up here nicely. Nope, we're going to just drop these duals off real quick. I don't think we're going to need them. It's not really that wet. There we go, that should work out pretty good. And so with that all loaded up here, we're just going to fold up our flaps here, keep this 4940 on the semi-trailer, and we're going to head out to the field here, and we have a little bit of spraying that we need to do. And so if we bring up the map here real quick, actually I'm coming to the realization most of our spraying is actually up here by the yard. We've got fields 1 and 4 to do, but we also have field 10 that needs to be sprayed here. And so I think since we loaded everything up here, the first thing we're going to do today is run this whole setup down to field 10. We'll get a worker set up on our spraying activities, and then we'll come back up here and hit the rest of the spraying ourselves a bit later. But we want to get started on our soybean planting here as well, so I think this is going to be a good fit for us to just get this sprayer going, because I want to get this spraying done before the corn pops up. Otherwise we're going to have to figure out how to put some drops on this, and I just think that's going to be a lot of work, so best to get the spraying done early. So the good news here is that this sprayer should make pretty short work of this field. We've already done a fair amount of the fertilizer application that we need in this field already. Just through using that nice DB90, we had a liquid setup on there, and so hopefully with the sprayer section control mod and precision farming both enabled here, our sprayer is going to be smart enough to not apply any additional liquid nitrogen here on the sections of this field that already have it. And so I'm hoping we just apply it to these sections that still need some. We'll probably come and check in on it as it gets going here, but I think we are going to use course play here to tackle this field for us while we're working on getting our planting set up. I'm only going to do one headland pass because this is quite wide and it should work out plenty good for us. And it looks like this is going to do a good enough job of going around here. And so the only thing I want to do is change the direction of our headlands, because I'd like it to go the other way around so we end up back here by the trailer, which is going to be handy for getting us loaded back up here. And so with that, all we should have to do is hop over here and get this guy started. There we go. And as always, we've got to come in here and just crank up our turn speed. I don't know if I have the latest version of course play on here or not, but supposedly they've fixed this miles per hour stuff in the latest version of course play. It looks like I have not updated here, and so that's something on my to-do list as well. But we'll just crank all these numbers up here. As you can see, we spray at 21 miles an hour, which is pretty good, and this has been a good test. It looks like sprayer section control is indeed going to work appropriately with the spots that we've already sprayed. And so that, coupled with the precision farming interface here, where we're putting the appropriate nitrogen level on for corn and loamy sand, I think that this guy is going to make really quick work of this field. Now we've already gotten both planters cleaned out here and switched over to soybeans. but we need to get them filled up with seed here. And so we've got the seed tender, and we've already called up to the local seed dealer to get some seed delivered. And so we're just gonna get this thing all set up here in the yard, and hopefully our seed guy's gonna show up here shortly. And it looks like he's here. We've got our favorite seed delivery guy here from Clock Brothers Seeds coming out here, and he's hauling it with this brand new seed tender and looks like liquid fertilizer setup. This is a new mod that TJ Custom FS19 Edits is working on. I believe he's planning on releasing this the same day this video should come out, and so I'll put a link in the description below for this. But I really like this whole setup because it's a combination of the step deck trailer style with the chemical tank, and then you've got a multi-hopper tender here that's set up for any bulk products. I've got seed in here right now, I think, because we're gonna need a fair amount of seed. And so we're gonna hop in here and get this pipe out so that we can top off our seed tender here. And I believe that the co-op is gonna leave this truck sitting here for us for a little bit here today and let us get everything all set up. We've gotta get both of our planters refilled and then top off our seed tender. So hopefully we're gonna be able to do that. And this Unverfirth has been converted over by Perma's Modding to support being filled from the top, which makes it really handy for doing things like this where we're bulk filling it. And so we're going to start off by running this seed tender out to the backside of field 3 here, where we've got the 8RX and DB90 all staged up and ready to start planting, because we figured that it would be best to put the 8RX on our bigger field here and have it knock out those acres while we get the 8RT and DB90 set up to go do our smaller field. So as you can see here, we're all set up, ready to go. We just gotta hop in here. Oh no, we've even got the covers off and ready to be filled. So the worker is ready to go. We've got all our corn seed already cleaned out of these planters, so we just need to top it off and go ahead and get horseplay going here. Now, this planter is plenty wide, so I'm tempted to just do a single headland pass with it as well. I think we are going to have it go around so that we end up by the farm here. I think this is going to be the best setup for us. So let's go ahead and get this guy out in the field here and get him all kicked off. Now, we do have a little bit of liquid fertilizer left in the tank, it looks like here. We should probably have cleaned that out, but we're not going to need it here for the soybeans that we're planting. And so we're just going to ignore that for the time being. And as you can see here, we're going a healthy 9 miles an hour with this planter, probably getting close up to 10. So we're going to cover some serious acres with this. And so we're going to let this guy go here, and he's going to tackle this soybean field for us. And we're going to get back into our pickup truck here, and we're going to run this back up to the farm. We'll top off the other planter and then get this seed tender topped off as well. And then we've got to go check in on that sprayer. All right, so we are back up here at the farm. We've topped off the seed tender here, which is good. I want to get that all filled up because we're definitely going to need some more seed, I think, to finish off this farm. And we're about to fill up that other planter, but it looks like the 4940 is out of fertilizer here. So let's jump down here, take a quick look. It does look like we're only about halfway through this field. So we're going to go ahead and stop this driver, and we're going to take him down here to the end of the field. I should be able to go ahead and just refill right from the Wilson step deck. We've got a decent amount of fertilizer in there. I don't think we're full. I'm hoping I can get down here and back up into the refill point rather than having to fold this whole sprayer up. It is a bit unwieldy at times, and I got a lot of questions during the live stream as well as we're looking at these planting textures. These are something custom that we've made here on the channel, There's something similar to this that was posted on the Custom Modding Group's Facebook page. There's a Custom Modding has both a page and then they have a modding group. And somebody posted on how to change out your textures, or posted some custom textures, I should say. And then Argsy did a great tutorial on how to add them to your map. Didn't like the textures for this particular series, and so we kind of tweaked and modified the actual ground textures a bit. But I'll put a link to Argsy's tutorial in the description of this video, such that if you're interested in applying custom planting textures similar to the ones that I'm using here on your map, that's definitely something that you're going to be able to do. So with our fertilizer refilled, we're going to go ahead and get started here again. Not sure why it skipped that little bit, but we're going to just accept that for what it is here and let that go. He should be able to finish up this field now with the fertilizer he has left. And if he can't, we do have some more sitting there. Similar to the other planter, we're going to refill this one. I think we are going to fill it directly out of the co-op seed tender here, just to maximize how much seed we've got left on our end. After he leaves here, I think he's going to have to take off after we get everything filled up here, so the co-op can't sit around all day long. And I couldn't have lined that up better if I'd wanted to, so that's about as perfect as it gets. And so with our seed filled up in here, we're going to take a quick look at the map. And as you can see, we've got field 6 down here that still needs to be planted that we own. And so we're going to take this planter down there, and we're going to get Courseplay off and running, planting soybeans on that field as well. The great thing with soybeans is they don't require any nitrogen. And so we're going to be able to just get those planted. We're not going to have to do nearly as much spraying on those fields. We will have to hit everything with some herbicide here once we're done with the planting season. But we should have plenty of time for that. And with that great big sprayer, we're going to make short work of our fields for sure. So we're up here at field 6. While this thing unfolds, we're going to go ahead and get our course generated. Much like the other fields, I think one headland pass is still going to be enough even for the DB60 here, because we've got a lot of space around this field. And I think the only thing I want to do, kind of like the other field, is I'm going to change which direction we go around this field so that we end up back here by the road closer to the farm. That's going to make our lives just a little bit easier when we're all said and done with our planting. And so we're going to go ahead and just kick this guy off, and he should be good to go. Now, one criticism I get on a regular basis is at some point, I think I've globally turned off paying Courseplay workers. So we're going to turn that back on. We're going to do it on video here so that we're now appropriately paying worker wages. Everybody can see we're now going to start taking the hit on that, which will be much more realistic here. No problems having workers as long as we're getting them paid. So let's jump down here into the 8RX. I'm just curious to see how he's doing. We came one time around the field and we're just hitting 50%. So that's a lot of seed. But hopefully he's going to make it down to the other end and back. I'm not sure. That's a long way to go. And this field is not as wide as it is long. But I do need to get this guy refilled, and so I think we're going to overlap with our seed a little bit here as we're planting, the way Courseplay is set up for this first round. And so we're going to really hope that we can get back down here with our seed tender. And so either way, we are going to be on an end row when we need to refill. So I'm going to drive this guy out to the edge of that field, and then we're going to go load up that sprayer and bring it back up to the farm here, and we're going to spray a couple of these small fields on our own. Now we're coming back up here to this end. I don't think our planter's anywhere near making that round yet, and so this is perfect. We'll have more than enough time. Just checking how fast he's using his seed. He's looking pretty good. So we've got more than enough time to hop over here and load this sprayer up and get it back up to the farm. I'm actually really happy with how well this thing handled the field here. If I can remember, Control B to turn off that interface for the sprayer section control mod. And we're going to go ahead and just get this sprayer loaded back up here. I think what we're going to do is, as long as we're already unloaded here, I'm going to fill her back up. Probably not the best idea, but it didn't have that much left in the tank. And so one of the things that we're kind of waiting on is I want to refill our sprayer tanks from the tank on the co-op truck there before we take off. So we've got everything all loaded up here. Now the trick is always, can we manage to get turned around without tipping anything over or losing any vehicles? Here we go. Alright, we're gonna zip back up to the farm and we'll catch you up there. Alright, here we are back up at the farm. Now, I don't think the refill point is gonna be there. I'm kind of curious, actually. Oh, I am gonna be able to refill here. Perfect. So we've got a full fertilizer tank on our step deck. We've got fertilizer in the sprayer. And so I think what we're gonna do is park our spraying rig over here, just because we'll have lots of room available to us to pull up and refill when we need to. And we're gonna hop in here and get this 4940 out, and we're gonna go do one of these fields ourselves. It's been a while since we drove the sprayer, and so I'm really excited to give this a shot. Just looking at the map here, I think I wanna get out here into field 4 and get that sprayed before we get too far along on planting this big field 3. And I think what we're gonna do is take this path over here by the creek first and get all of that sprayed, and then we'll work on some up and down rows. It feels good to be back in a sprayer. We've got a couple of spots where we realized we had the helper turned on for fertilizing, and so there's this one strip down the middle of the field where we've actually got some fertilizer when we were planting. The rest of it we did as intended. Since we didn't have any fertilizer tanks on that planter, it didn't make a whole lot of sense for that DB90 to be putting fertilizer down. But thus is the mechanics with Farm Sim sometimes. And what I love most about this 4940 is just how speedy it is. Now, I could probably put some of my booms down here if I could remember it like this. There we go. We're missing just a smidge along the fence line here. That's looking good, and it looks like our booms are not quite level here, so I'm trying to bring them down. Oh, there we go. It's always fun to remember exactly what the controls are when I've got the HUD turned off. Left and right mouse button for anybody that's curious. So that's our headland pass. I guess we're gonna come down here maybe and figure out where the last little bits that we didn't catch are right here. So while we've been spraying here, I've just come to the realization that we forgot that the intent was to refill the DB90 when we got back up to the yard, because we wanted to catch him while he was on the end of the field there, and it looks like he's already getting halfway back up field 3 here. So I am sure at some point he's going to require refilling, and we're probably just going to have to drive the truck up to him, because I don't want to bring the whole planting rig all the way back down to the edge of the field. And just like that, we're on our last pass of this field, and we should be able to just run this right back up to the yard here and probably get it topped off. I'm not sure how much fertilizer we actually ended up using here. Looks like over half, so we're at 41%. We do need to fold these booms up before we crash into anything. And so this will be a good opportunity for us to top off that fertilizer and get our last little field fertilized here. However, I think we are going to end up doing that a little bit off camera because we are running a bit long for today's episode. Hopefully you've enjoyed the episode. If you have, drop a like. And if you're new to the channel, subscribe for more daily farm sim content. That's all for today. Kedrick, out. Alright, we're just gonna get this cart out of the way here. Oh my goodness, look at that. Awesome. Had to clip that fence. Oh, not the fence again, not the fence again. Whew, that was close.